Hello, I got a bit of a new kind of video for you guys today. I'm going to be showing you my favorite books that have helped me as a music producer. I don't know if you're that into reading books. I honestly wasn't back in high school, but after I graduated, I found it a good way to get off screens every once in a while and a good way to feel like I was being productive while laying in bed. So this first one here we got is All You Need to Know About the Music Business. It's by Donald S. Passman. So this book is pretty much all about the back end of building your music business. For example, how to pick a team, how to get managers, how to manage your business, law stuff, etc. You could think of it as the textbook for the music business. It doesn't really contain any information about making music itself. Again, this is all about how to manage the back end of things. I think my favorite thing about this book is it's not really the kind of book where you just sit down and read it from front to back. It's kind of like you pick sections out of it of what you're needing to know at that time. For example, are you getting into some issues with copyright law? Well, then flip to the chapter about copyright law. Are you at the point where you want to start growing a team and introducing some other people into your fold? Well, then try the chapter about building a team. This book is huge. You definitely don't have to read the whole thing, but there are so many little tidbits in here that you can take out. Also, I just wanted to say, if you haven't figured this out already, basically I'm just going to give a really quick summary of each book and what I like about each one, and hopefully what you can gain from each one as well. So if you check out the links in the description, you'll find all of these books there, and I highly advise you to check some of them out. And that brings us to our second one, is How Successful People Think. This is basically just a mindset book. And I promise you it's not all about hustle culture and just saying you should think positive and work hard and you'll get whatever you want. It's a bit more practical than that. It's a super quick summary. It basically explains what a growth mindset is, why having a growth mindset is important, and it just explains how to surround yourself with good people that are going to be positive influences on your life. My ultimate favorite thing about this one though is how short it is. I don't know if you can really see in the video, but the book is tiny and it only has roughly 100 pages. I don't know, I guess my point here is it's a book on mindset without being super corny about it. It's pretty practical and super short. You could probably read it in 2 hours. And this one will sort of lead into my next pick here. Okay, so these ones here are awesome. They are Harvard Business Review Press. And they call them 20-minute managers because, again, you can kind of just read it in 20-minute chunks and you'll finish the book easily within a day. So this one's really similar to the last one, but it's even more practical. It's not about mindset, it's about how to actually sit down and get work done. And like it says right here, how to prioritize your work, how to be more efficient, and how to take control of your time. I think one of my favorite things about this book is it's transferable to anything. It's not applicable to just music. For example, I'm in university right now, and I would literally say that the most important part to success in university isn't being smart or knowing stuff necessarily. It's just being able to manage your time accordingly. And again, this is pretty basic stuff. I'm sure you guys aren't dumb. I'm sure you have your own systems to manage time. But every once in a while, it's good to just go back to the basics, remind yourself about what's important. And again, this is a super quick read. So definitely check this one out. And if you see any more of these Harvard Business Review Press ones, they're all pretty good. Last thing I want to say about this one is whenever people ask me if I have a little book that they can borrow, this is the one I always give them. Unlike the first book, where it's a bit more of a textbook style, this one is kind of you read it through once and you'll probably never forget it. Let's go to the next one. Alright, this one is so good that I actually have it also in Audible form. My parents got me the hard copy, and it is The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, the counterintuitive approach to living a good life. And honestly, this book is about exactly what it says on the cover. It literally explains how to just not give an F about things. I'll read you some of the chapter names here. For example, this first chapter is literally called Don't Try, and it basically just explains how with some things, the harder you try, the less it works out. You ever notice how with music, for some reason, sometimes the people that just seem to not care are the ones that blow up? Well, it's because if you try too hard, you look like a tryhard, and for some reason that just turns people off. I don't know, read more about it in here. This one is called You Are Not Special. It's about how everyone has a huge ego, and you always think that people are thinking of you when they're really not. And you might have an awkward moment with somebody, and you go home at night and you're stressing about what you said to them. Well, I promise you they're not thinking of you. They're thinking of something that they themselves said that they regret. Anyway, I could go on and on about this one. Each chapter is so good, and it's pretty critical. You kind of have to set aside your ego to even read this book. For example, this one here is called You're Wrong About Everything. And that's basically just comes down to accepting responsibility for things, assuming that you don't know things so that you're open to new knowledge. And yeah, this is one of the best books I've ever read in my life, not just one of the best for music production. Speaking of which, hit the like button on this video and maybe I'll do another one with my 5 extra favorite books or my 5 favorite audiobooks or something of that nature. But definitely check this one out. The link will be in the description. Alright, and that brings me to my number 1 favorite book for music producers of all time. Boom, Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. I'll try to sum this up for you in like 30 seconds and then I'll show you some of the best chapters. Basically, this book is talking about how when you're an artist, the art is in the everyday stuff that you do. For example, if you're a music producer, like take pictures of your studio when you're making a beat, like take pictures of your process. You don't know what to post on social media? Well, literally just post what you're doing. You don't have to come up with all these crazy content ideas. You can just document your journey, and that is the art itself. That's creating the story that people want to see. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and be some crazy caricature all the time. You can just be yourself, document your journey, and that's what people will like. It says, for artists, the great problem to solve is how to get oneself noticed. So I'm sure if you're watching this video and trying to learn more about music production and music promotion, I'm sure you're having that issue too. We all are, right? Creativity is not a talent. It's a way of operating. I always try to explain that to people that some people aren't more creative than others. I think some people are just more willing to explore that side of themselves than others. I think everybody has it in them to be creative. And I think if everyone just showed their work, they would see that everybody has an equal ability to be creative. Some people, again, just tend to explore that avenue a bit more, while others are, you know, either afraid to show their work and just keep it to themselves, or afraid to try in the first place, which is the worst. But I digress. Let's look into this book a bit and see if I can pull you something out that you'll find useful. Okay, here's a really good one. Share something small every day. I don't know how much of the inside of this book I can show without getting in like trouble for it, but I just wanted to share this excerpt I found. Overnight success is a myth. Dig into almost every overnight success story and you'll find about a decade's worth of hard work and perseverance. Building a substantial body of work takes a long time. A lifetime, really. Thankfully, you don't need all that time in one big chunk. So forget about decades, forget about years, and forget about months, and focus on days. Basically, I just think that that ties into showing your day-to-day journey as an artist, progressing through life, and making that your story. For example, I have 1,000 beats. It's not like I sat down one day and made 1,000 of them in a month. I made one every day over the course of 3 years. And that's how you build up a body of work like that. But you share your whole process of doing so. Anyway, I hope this is making somewhat sense. The book explains it way better than I do. I guess a really quick summary of this book is on the back here. 1. You don't have to be a genius. 2. Think process, not product. 3. Share something small every day. 4. Open up your cabinet of curiosities. 5. Tell good stories. 6. Teach what you know. 7. Don't turn into human spam. 8. Learn to take a punch. 9. Sell out. 10. Stick around. Boom. This book is really cheap, really small, really easy to read. Definitely get this one if you were to get any of them in the list. I hope you guys found this video at least somewhat interesting. I'd love to share more of these. Maybe I can find like a better way to do it. But for now, leave your feedback with a good thumbs up or a comment and subscribe for more. Thanks so much, guys.